of the Department of Management, School of Management and Business Studies, Jamia Hamdard. On behalf of the FDP online 6-day online faculty development program on leveraging digital communication and marketing sustainability, the blue-green economy. This is not just a wonderful opportunity for all of us to get to know the dimension, the aspects and the dimensions from the perspective of blue and green economy and the sustainable practices from the classrooms and from the corporate world. This time, we have a very different kind of an expert who's from a domain which is quite intriguing and quite envious for all of us. So on behalf of all the participants and the organizing committee, Dr. Asad and Dr. Jamshed, who are the coordinators of the program, and on behalf of the Department of Management, Jamia Hamdard, I welcome you, sir. To the participants, I would like to simply go through your resume and CV so that they get to know who you are actually and what you have done in the recent past. Dr. Ravindra Dogra, he is currently an assistant professor with IITTM Goa, which is Indian Institute of Tourism and Travel Management, basically. And currently, he's also associated with NIWS, that is National Institute of Water Sports, Goa. One place to live in and enjoy life well. So Dr. Ravindra Dogra, being an assistant professor, and he's in this particular field since 2012. And since then, he is working towards the development of tourism in the country. He's actively involved in teaching, tour guide trainings, national level projects, and the short-term program. While working on the streamlining of adventure tourism in India, Dr. Dogra served as on profiles like Nodal Officer of Central Nodal Agency Adventure Tourism, set up by the Ministry of Tourism, Government of India, and also Nodal Officer of National Institute of Water Sports, Goa. He assessed the adventure tourism scenario at the global and at national level and presented Model Adventure Law of India at G20 in Siliguri. So that's one great achievement, and we should be proud of him. He also did his master's in tourism management from Jammu University and PhD in community-based tourism and sustainable development of destinations. He also came up with a course of multivariate and panel data analysis from IIM Ahmedabad. Dr. Dogra is passionate towards the problem solving and field research. He coordinated guide training programs in Gujarat, Uttarakhand, Madhya Pradesh, Maharashtra. He's also an active trainer for communication seminar of Incredible India Tourist Facilitator Program of Ministry of Tourism, Government of India. Recently, he's working on research themes like peer-to-peer accommodations, tourism potential of Indian streets, tourism entrepreneurship, beach management, and coastal carrying capacity. Apart from his academic interest, Dr. Dogra is having a passion for travel photography and adventure tourism. Currently, Dr. Dogra is a faculty at the National Institute, where he's taking classes of MBA Travel and Tourism Management and trainees of water sports, and is actively involved in the studies of coastal belt of India. So with these words, I'd like to welcome Dr. Dogra for his session. Sir, I invite you for your session, and I think you can take this particular session for 1 hour and 1 hour 15 minutes.
Right.
That we can take up some questions from the participants as well. I'm sure they would be delighted enough to have some conversation with you.
Sure. Thank you.
Floor is all yours, sir.
Yeah, please. Thank you, Mr. Arif. Right. So I would like to share my PPT. So just give me 2 minutes. After that, I'll share. Right. So I'll just start discussing on it. So very good evening, everyone. So today I have got this opportunity to talk on this something like which is really high in demand, and we have seen that now all these countries are working on this particular aspect. I'll just take one small example on this. Okay, before that, I just wanted to give you a background of this actually. Generally, we were talking about the green energies, green tourism, ecotourism, sustainability, and all that area. But somewhere we have missed it out that we are living in a world where around 70% of that area is in water actually, right? And this water is having tremendous potential, whether it is Pacific Ocean, Atlantic Ocean, right? And even when we are talking about India also, we are surrounded by the different water bodies. Apart from that, oceans and the water bodies, right? Uh, we have seen that in these coastal zones or in these areas, a lot of people are living, and a lot of civilizations they have grown on these coastal zones. So what motivated them? Actually, it means that some potential was there, right? So here today we'll just talk about it, we'll just discuss about it, the different potentials. Yesterday we were having one conference in Goa that was on the maritime importance in terms of blue economy, and we discussed thoroughly on the different aspects. And believe me, like, we have tremendous potential in that area in terms of research, in terms of entrepreneurship, in terms of starting a new venture. And believe me, if you're getting bored in terms of some specific themes, move out of it and enter into the zone. That is really amazing, right? And Apart from the Indian coastal zones, right, the Mediterranean zone or the other coastal zones of European countries, even in Americas, right, South America or the North America on the upward part, Oceania and downwards, right, you'll find that everyone is doing something great in that area. Either it is blue flag beaches, right? Spain, they have around 642 blue flag recognitions. Turkey is doing great in that area. Greece is doing great, right? It means that they have identified that we are not going to leave out this particular area or this particular zone, and they have started working on it. And now it's our time to take care of this ESGs, right? Where we are talking about environmental, social governance models, right? Where we need to think not only from the green perspectives that we are having, right? We need to jump into the blue perspective also. So let's try to combine it actually. As Mr. Arif told about, gave my introduction, right? That I'm working with IITTF Goa, which itself is a National Institute of Water Sports, right? NIWS. So in India, Minister of Tourism, Government of India is having two parallel bodies, right? One side we have IHMs, on the other side we are having IITMs, right? Apart from that, they have another two bodies. Like one is IISM, Indian Institute of Skiing and Mountaineering, that is in Gulmarg, right? Apart from that, National Institute of Water Sports. So now the NIWS has been linked with the IITTM, and here we got this opportunity that we have combined academia with the practical fields, right? So what we have learned about the oceans, water bodies, beaches, right? Now we are doing it practically, and that's how that's what I'm enjoying this portion. We have around 13 beaches of Gujarat where we are working actually on the feasibility studies or on in terms of developing those areas, right? Apart from that, now the Goa is having a plan in future that they're coming up with the blue flag beaches, so they're working on it. Karnataka is doing a great job in that area. Right? Andaman North, again, they're opening up the new zones, new segments. Lakshadweep is working on it, right? So apart from that, Gujarat and all that area, let's move towards the other side, the Bay of Bengal. So Pondicherry and Odisha, right? So they're also into it. So it means that now they have understood that there's a potential in that particular aspect. So today we'll be focusing on these aspects, right? And we'll be discussing about it, how we can start new kind of research in these aspects or in these segments, how we can take the benefits, right? And believe me, like, if you're having a passion to work for your society, for the communities, so these are the zones which are having a potential which we have not seen, right? Which we have not even imagined. That much of potential these places are having, right? Countries like Thailand, right? So they have developed their coastal zones. Like, if you take very simple example about the Patong beach of Phuket, and if you are taking about, if you're talking about the Aonang beach of Krabi, so what they did, they have converted into kind of a zone from where they are really providing a lot of benefits to the communities. So it's not entering deep into the sea, right? Although blue economy includes that entering deep into the sea without spoiling the basic nature or without spoiling the resources, right? But here in generally in tourism, we are not going too much into the sea. We're just taking care of 3 nautical miles. Right. So 1 nautical mile is equal to around 1.8 kilometers. So not more than around 5 point something actually. Within that limit, we have tremendous potential. So today we are going to focus on that. Today we'll be working on it. Right. So I'll just switch on to the presentation mode. Just give me a moment. Then I think after that, I won't be able to see you guys there. So please let me know if I'm not audible or something happens during that time. Just give me a
Don't
moment.
worry, sir. I'll be moderating.
Sure, sure. Thank you, Arif. I think you are having my number in case if net is gone or something is that, do let me know, right?
Definitely, I'll contact you.
Yeah. Okay. Here we go. Uh, I hope the PPT is visible.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Fine. Fine. So let's move further. I have taken this picture, right? So there's a story behind this picture, that why I have taken this picture. So the institute that is the building which is visible to you, it's a building of National Institute of Water Sports and IIT team, right? So again, a kind of a combination or a collaboration of these two organizations, right? What IIT team was doing, we were working as of now into the green part. Right, we are just talking about eco stays, eco tourism, eco campings, that tracking areas, right? Development of eco fragile zones, and saving these forest zones. Like how we are making strategies and policies on that aspect. But somewhere we have not crossed this line, right? This gray line which we are having, that beach part. We have not gone to the other side. So luckily, this institute is that body which in India is now working on that aspect, okay, which is covering the portion from the other side and portion from this side. So both of these aspects have been taken up here in this part, right? And again, every day we came across the different potential. Okay, for example, as of now, we have trained around 40,000 people in terms of water sports, that is the recreational water sports activities, and these people are really bringing a lot of business to India. Okay, I'll just give you some numbers, right? If we talk about only US, right? So the economy that is based on water sports recreational activities around $1.2 trillion, right? So that much economy is depending on all those activities, sports, games, or directly and indirectly they are linked with that, or maybe the resorts and the other segments that are associated with those water sports activities. And when we're talking about the world, actually, somewhere around average is less. It is somewhere around 156 billion dollars, right? The reason is that many of the countries they are doing right, but they're doing it at very lesser volume. And let's come towards India. We know that the coastal line of our country, generally earlier we used to say 7,000 kilometers, right? But now the latest one, the Ministry of Shipping came up with a circular on 29th April 2025. And according to them, the coastal line of India, they have done the satellite mapping, included all those islands that we're having, Lakshadweep and other areas. So the coastal line is around 11,098 kilometers, which is tremendous actually. And what are the water bodies we are having on the one side, right, towards the western part, the Goa where we are actually. Here we have the Arabian Sea, right? On the other side we have the Bay of Bengal, and downwards we generally call it as Indian Ocean, right? So these are the tremendous zones we are having, which is having their own challenges, own perspectives, own dimensions, and need to be worked out from the tourism angle. Okay, again, before moving further, just wanted to give you one more idea that there are certain rules and regulations are there, right, that are governing the water bodies, even the forest area. So we are having the Forest Act, we are having this Ocean, that IV Act, Inland Vessels Act, right? Apart from that, the Merchant and Shipping Act. So these are certain acts which are giving a kind of a shape to the kind of economy of this particular zone or this segments, right? Apart from that, they're giving us a kind of a scope, like under which we can find out some more the segments, right? Or we can find out some more areas where we can work. Like under the IV Act, we also have the IV rules. So the state is getting a power to make their IV rules. Again, we are having one more important thing, that is CRZ, right? Coastal Region Zone. So CRZ rules we are having. So somewhere Ministry of Environment, right? Again, they're coming up with the CRZ rules, which saves our coastal zones, which are saving our coastal areas. So today I'll just share my knowledge, right? So whatever I have gained practically, I'll try to show all the pictures which we have taken during our studies, right? And we'll try to understand the importance of these two areas and how we can club both of them together. Okay, so why only to work on the green part, right, which is just 29 point some percent of the world land, right? Apart from that, the 70 point some percent is in water, right? So why not to focus on both the parts together? Why only to keep yourself this thing working on one particular sector? Let's take the benefit of both these areas. Okay, so let's move further. I hope it is changing. Arif sir. Hello,
Yes.
Arif.
Yes.
Right, it's changing. Right. Okay, now let's reach out to the blue economy. Right. So here this picture is saying everything. Right. Everything actually. Again, the WEF came up with this thing that somewhere around 29.8% of the territories that has been shown on the other area and the water bodies that have been shown. Right. So it means that there's a lot of potential in the waters, like the countries or the continents that have been connected with the water, right? And they have different zones or the different areas, or we can call them as the fisheries, like because it started with that. Generally, we started with the fishing activities. Okay, so the fishermen in these coastal areas, they were just catching the fishes and they were living. If we talk about Goa, Maharashtra, Karnataka, Kerala downwards, Tamil Nadu, and all that area. So fishermen community was playing an important role, right? Slowly, what they did, they started doing trade in that area. So there was a trade that happened later when we realized the value of the wood and the boats and all that thing. So some of the trade got started. So world started coming closer because of waters, and that's so like some of the countries they reached to other countries. They got that route or that segment, for example. And see, I must say actually, keep. The water played an important role in terms of even developing the civilization. The reason is, I'll give you one example. When the Portuguese came to India or towards Goa, okay, from the downwards, right? So they were having those sails, right? So they were from Lisbon, they were going towards the Brazil side, okay, and from the Brazil they were doing some trade, right? From there, then touching the South Africa, the Cape of Good Hope, the area they call it as. They were coming from that area, and then they reached out to the Goa, right? So while in that this thing, so they have brought a lot of things from the Brazil, right? So we got cashews, we got pineapple, we got fruits, right? Even the pohe, the Maharashtra that we call it as pav bhaji, right? So they have a kind of a story which generally people say that the pohe thing that came in Goa first, right, from this thing from because of the Portuguese actually. So they came through that way. The chili that we eat and we are getting the right after that something that power actually. So the chili again came through that route only, right? So it means that it's not only the invaders or the people who came and who control certain territories. Apart from that, a lot of other things they have reached actually. If Goa is now having a unique souvenir like Feni, right, or Ulak or Nero, right, out of cashew fruit. So somewhere the credit goes to that route actually from where we have got it. So it means that economy wise also when people they really grown further, they got this thing that this is where we can move further and we can get some benefits from that area, right? So again, now let's start with this. So being academicians, right? So what we can do, we need to think from this way, how the different part of the world actually, right? How in the different part of the world, different things reach out to the different places, which route they have taken, right? How the impact has gone to the different part. Okay, now can we say that when the poe reached Goa, right? From here it became a Pau in Maharashtra. Later they have added their vada, right? So it became vada pav because of the factory workers. They were requiring to eat something fast food. So some modifications they did, and this is all it has gone further, right? So not just see that somewhere the Maharashtra that kind of a food, right, vada pav, which is not even popular in other areas. It is having a long story, right, long range. So why can't we work on those aspects and how the world got together, how they have gone to different parts, right, how the products have reached to the different areas, even in marketing or even in the management, right? When you guys are studying about it, you might have come across all those things the products which are popular in one area, now we are selling it in different zones. So what strategies you can use, right, to make popularize them or to connect them to the territory or locations, areas, a country or to a civilization or to a culture. So that is where we can work. That's a one area. Apart from that, we are having another thing that is a coastal tourism. So now let's talk about this thing, the coastal areas. We can say that all these coastal areas, they were self-dependent. They were not depending on anything else. For example, how it starts, we have a coastal zone, right? The beach is there. Then we are having the small grasses or small shrubs kind of thing. then we are having bushes, right? Then we are having small trees, then we have the bigger trees. So as that air from when during the sun time, right, when the water gets getting evaporated, it is moving towards the land part, getting stuck into the small bushes, then going to the bigger trees, then going towards the coconut trees, right? So somewhere they have maintained a kind of a that ecosystem where they were having a sweet water or a kind of a drinkable water in that particular region. So all these regions they were having a drinkable water, right, in the coastal areas, and now we have created some problems in the nature, and we have created the trouble in those coastal zones. But now just try to understand that. So all these areas were self-dependent. But when we have developed the coastal tourism or the coastal zones, for example, I'll give you a very good example. Goa is popular, right? It's known to everyone. Let's talk about the other areas. Let's reach out to Udupi, okay, in Karnataka. In Udupi, we have some of very good beaches, right? One is Malpe is amazing, right? Very beautiful. Kaup is again one of the beautiful beach. I really liked it actually. Okay, so and another is Kudi Kundrapura, right? So in that beach also, it's long beach, right? Again, secular, very less people are there in that area, but some tourists who are going, right, they're just enjoying, right? But what will happen once we'll start having a lot of mass tourism in that area, a lot of frequent movement in that particular zone. We are coming with the resorts, we are coming up with shacks in that place, we are having the party zones, we are having other kind of development in terms of getting more and more profit from the tourism. So what will happen, the coastal people, they will start facing a kind of a like pushback, so they won't be able to survive in those changing conditions. One second is that they were depending on that fish catching and other things, right? Somewhere that is also getting affected. If the resorts are coming, somewhere now they are working with them, so they are leaving their traditional way of living, right? And another part that they're facing in that area is somewhere down the line, the beach will lose its identity, it will lose its charm, right? They will be having the kind of smell that will be coming from zone, because we have destroyed all those structures, we have all destroyed all those water bodies near to that area, we have removed all those trees. Now no more water is remaining there, it is going somewhere on towards a hill, rain is happening somewhere else, and we're not able to maintain that ecosystem of those beaches. That's where we are facing the issues. So now let's think about it. If we really want a sustainable tourism for a longer range, let's work on in terms of beach conservations. Let's talk about this green conservation, because somewhere the air is also reaching out to the forest zones, right? Again, I wanted to link it with this. I discussed about the Udupi, right? The coastal areas, Karnataka coastal areas, right? So and we have another forest zone in between that is known as Sakleshpur, right? If you search about Sakleshpur, they have the coffee plantation, again the forest kind of things, and above that we have another one that is known as Kudremukh or Chikmagalur on the top of it, right? So it goes like this, right? So again, when the air is going right, and if the coastal area is not getting in anything, it will become dry. It will, like, beaches will lost our beaches, right? But yeah, rains will happen somewhere else, and they won't be able to survive those pressure of the rains, right? And they will be having some kind of floods and other kind of issues in those areas. So that's how now we are destroying the ecosystem of both blue as well as green, right? So this is just an example I wanted to quote actually, and please stop me if I'm going too much into the deep of those segments, right? So we can I'll stop actually. Okay.
Not at all.
Yeah, please. Okay, next is the shipping part, right? So, I hope, like, we all have seen the cruise ships, other ships, trade ships, right? And even the coastal, that naval ships we have seen, or in news we are checking actually. Now let's talk about this part. When these big ships, they're on their voyage actually, right? So again, we need to think from very important perspective. On the coastal regions with the sand, we are finding the black particles. Now, what these black particles are actually, mostly the oil seepage or some kind of garbage or something like that, which are coming from ships or other bodies, right? It is getting accumulated on the beaches, right? Again, spoiling beaches as well as the water quality and the other aspects. So now, what we are doing in this particular area, we have come up with the clean the fuels, right? So we are talking about nowadays LNG, we're talking about hydrogen, we are talking about ammonia, right? Green ammonia, we are talking about green methanol, right? So we are talking about such fuels which can really having a very least kind of impact on the nature or the climate on the water bodies, right? So that's why now we are focusing on it. So we'll further work on it. We'll talk on it, that how we can work on that particular aspect. We'll be talking about it. Next is the blue carbon, right? So again, this thing again linked with the shipping only. So how we can have reduce this carbon emission. So now let me tell you one more thing, that IMO, right, in International Maritime Organization, they have a goal. So they have a strategy of around 2023 to 2040. So they have made a strategy. Under that, they have come up with a concept known as decarbonization. So how we can remove this thing, the carbon emission and other kind of challenges, because again, from the oceans or from the water bodies, we are getting a lot of the benefits, right, in the form of even the oxygen, right, it is coming through that. So we'll talk about the marine plants and all that thing. And a lot of researches are happening in the oceans and other zones where we are getting minerals and other kind of things. So how we can reduce this decarbonization. So on that aspect, we'll be talking, and we'll just cover it a bit, what we can do to save all those aspects. Okay, now I'm just giving you a structure of the blue economy sector. So because we have a limited time and it's a vast area, right? And just picking up certain points. For example, we have the marine living sources, right? The fish and all those fishes, or even that turtles and other marine life that we are having, the mammals, what we call it as the whale, actually, right? So there's a one more program that nowadays we are running, that is about whale shark conservation program. So there's a whale shark is there. If you search about the whale shark, you'll find that a creature which is not harming, actually, again, kind of people friendly, but they're not harming at all to anything. Apart from that, they are huge in size, right? Third is they don't have any value in terms of this thing. Like even fishermen, if they're catching, they're not it's not for edible purpose, right? Somewhere the outer skin was used for some kind of some kind of products, right? But now what we did throughout the world, we have realized that there's a lot of importance is there. So somewhere in blue economy, now we are just working on the concept of blue economy, that we have to optimally utilize the resources in such a way that we're not harming the living resources which are a part of it, right? Although I'm not saying we are stopping fishing and all those activities. No, that's something which is a livelihood of the fishermen in that area, right? Or it's related to the trade, right? But up to a certain level, that how we need to do, we need to set up that guidelines, actually. Next is the marine renewable energy, right? So we have a lot of marine renewable energy resources are there to avoid this decarbonization. Third is the ship construction and repair, again a very important component, right? So when we are going for repair, when we are going for this thing, scrapping of the ships, right, or the ship construction, so somewhere it's a big industry, right? And even in where the Mazdok, right, shipyard, NDZ, right, and a lot of shipyards we are having, right? But the challenges we are facing with them is, I have seen one of the shipyard in again in Karnataka. I have gone, right. I've seen that how much wastage it is having, how much pollution it is creating, littering it is creating in that area. So that itself is a challenging. Next is the coastal tourism. I have the coastal tourism. See how the coastal tourism works, okay, and why it is to be taken from this perspective, right? So I'm mostly touching the tourism part. Let's see, when we are saying the coastal aspects or other features like marine, renewable, or other things, the port activities. Here we are having people who are having some kind of awareness, who are having some kind of knowledge, right? But in coastal tourism, what we are doing, we are dealing with only 1 nautical mile to 3 nautical mile, right? Because up to 1 nautical mile, the recreational activity is allowed under the IVX, right? And in special cases, it goes to 3 nautical mile, right? And within that, tourists are coming and they wanted to enjoy the coastal activity. So what they do, they want some speed boat, right? They want parasailing activity. They want jet ski. The name of jet ski is personal watercraft, right? PWC we call it as, actually, right? And so 1800 horsepower that power it is having, engine is having. Then we are having parasailing boat we are having, right? Again, 300 HP. Big powerful boat, right? It is going inside the river, inside the coastal areas, or even in the lakes now they are doing, right? That's not allowed. The motorable activities are not allowed, but in coastal it is happening, right? And we are allowing actually up to a certain limit after conducting the feasibility. So the people who are coming, they're not aware about it, one, because they want it that entertainment, right? So they want thrill, they want activities, they wanted to be involved into it. But when it is about the other side, the service providers, right? So now what service providers are thinking? They are thinking about the benefits. And let me tell you that when somebody is going for scuba diving, right? So what they're entering into this thing, the scuba suit and all, what they're doing inside the water, they're seeing the marine life, they're seeing those what we call it as the coastal zones, right, and coastal segments they're checking actually, and that is all. Somewhere they're creating a lot of problems in those aspects, on those areas, right? So in scuba we are creating challenges, in snorkeling again we are creating challenges, in this boating and all that again we are creating challenges, right? So somewhere the coral reef, sorry, I forgot actually the corals, right? So I have seen some of the videos where people, they have gone for the scuba or even snorkeling, right? And now they've started work, they're touching, they started walking on the corals, right? And they're destroying it, right? And corals, it's coral making is a long process, right? It takes a lot of time to make up or the colony setup actually, and if we are destroying it, we're not going to get up. So that's how now we're destroying that particular area. So it means that a lot of awareness program is required. Okay, now what we are doing as an institutions, right? So what we need to do and what we are doing, we are working on the awareness campaigns. We are doing of the safety standards. We are making the adventure laws, as Mr. Arif have said, key in G20 we have presented. Why it is needed? Because if we'll not come up with any rules, regulation, and strict laws, we won't be able to control those negative aspects. We have to focus on that part, right? Or else will this start losing up all those beauty and what we are calling it as 70.8% of the zones, right? We'll just miss out all those things, and that will become a dream, right, for us to see such corals, such marine life, right? And that's how the coastal tourism need to be focused, right? It is having the opportunity, it is giving a lot of benefit to the coastal communities, but if it is not controlled properly, it will really spoil the show. It will really spoil the ecosystem. It will create a lot of damage even to the green part, not only to that particular aspect. Okay, next is that inert marine resources, right, which is associated with the port and all those things which are a part of it, small that marine bodies which are a part of it. So again, the marine resources. Next is the port activities. So in the port area, we are having a lot of oil spillage, moving some damage, some accidents. A lot of things are happening. Containers, they are falling down into the oceans and those zones, again creating a lot of damage to that part. Okay, then the maritime transportation. So world is totally depending on it. Let's take example. Oil transport, right? If we talk about the oil transport, so Russia, now that thing is very popular that we are buying oil from Russia. So earlier we were buying from Iran, earlier we were buying from Middle East, right? Tomorrow maybe somehow how the strategies are changing. On that basis, we may have to shift to another area. So we have to develop these maritime transportation that will be there throughout time, or even ahead also it will be there, but we need to find out some of the ways through which we can reduce the carbonization. So on that thing we need to focus on, and all these pillars are somewhere important, and they are making the blue economy, right? So now understand one thing, I have kept the coastal tourism in center because somewhere I'm talking from a tourism point of view, and that session theme is also this thing, the digital communication, right? So we are using some of the digital communication modes to control these things, right? We are coming up with the blue flag systems, we are coming with the green keys, right? We are having a lot of certifications. So on that basis, we are trying to come people, we are coming with awareness campaigns for the people that this is how we have to maintain, right? And that's how we are moving further. Okay, now let's move further. Some of the agencies, the frameworks, right, that are associated with it. So we have the European Blue Economy Framework that is really going up, like we are just taking it up. We are keeping it as a kind of a best practice, right? We are using them as a benchmarks. We have the ISO standardizations, right? Now the ISO is also working on some standardization on in terms of the boat making, designing, and even in the SOPs, right? So they have a safety management system in terms of adventure when we are talking about adventure tourism, whether it is water, whether it is other areas. So this safety management system, ISO 2001, I think, maybe if I'm not wrong, 21101, some 001, something like that, right? So that is again important. Then the World Bank is into it, right? Because somewhere when they're giving loans, they keep certain conditions. You need to follow these conditions. No damage to the water bodies, no damage to the forests of your area. So on that basis, they're giving. Then we have the IMO, International Maritime Organization, which sets up the rules, and on that basis, within our boundary, right? So those 15 nautical miles, right? We are making our rules, right? And but we have to follow the international rules. International vessels, those who travel voyage during these segments, we need to come up with the rules for them also, right? So somewhere we'll just now we are just moving further. I hope. In terms of blue, I have created a kind of a image in front of you that we have this blue economy, which is important. Either it is related to the marine life, either it is related to the coastal areas, either it is related to the transportation. A lot of cruises are there, right? So we have MSC cruises. The second biggest is Ethiopia, right? Something cruise actually. And the first one is, I think, I forgot the name. Sorry, I'll get back to you on that. That's one of my favorite. I forgot actually the biggest this thing, the cruise. But the point is that when these cruises they voyage actually, again they are associated with the sustainability. They are associated with a lot of this thing, the pollution concept, right? And we need to focus on that. But how we can save it? Although we are enjoying, we are going with that, right? And we are seeing new destinations, locations. But the major aspect need to be taken care of. The sustainable development in that area, or the sustainability maintenance in those coastal zones. Okay, now let's come up with the green economy. So again, touching an aspect of this, right? So when we say green economy, we generally talk about the green, low carbon emissions, right? Resource efficient models. So we should not have something through which we are just putting pressure on the destination locations, on properties, right? On islands. So we're coming with such kind of models, such kind of technologies. For example, in trains, we are talking about the bio toilets. We are coming up with that. So such technologies now we are coming up with, so that we can optimally utilize the land part, territorial part, or the terrestrial part, as well as the atmospheric part, right? Apart from the water area, we can use them, and we should not, and we won't be able to we should not destroy those segments or the resources, because that is much less than the water, right? So if we compare the land part, this is 1/3 of the water part. So we have to focus in that way. It should not be having any adverse effects. But as of now, I'm not saying only because of tourism, because of other aspects also, we have really destroyed this land part. As we all know, AQI, we were talking about just few moments back, right? So this is an alarming situation for us, right? And even we have seen that after the I'm getting food, right, shelter, clothes, right? So next demand or next desire is travel. So people, they're traveling now. They have money, they have resources, they have influencers who are influencing them, they have information, right? So they are traveling to the different areas, they are enjoying the different destinations. But what we need to understand that these are the locations that are having which are having a limited life, right? If we're not controlling them properly, they have a destination life cycle, right? So if we'll not be them properly, they will definitely go down, right? And we won't be able to rejuvenate these destinations. Now we're talking about rejuvenation, how we can rejuvenate a destination. But if it is going down, if it is ended actually, so obviously we can't rejuvenate destinations again and again. So we need to think a model where we can really work together and we can come up with an idea. So this could be the one, this could be the one source, like where people are working on it. I'll give you some models that generally people they're using in green economy. One is the regenerative tourism. So sorry, first is sustainable tourism. Then we're talking about the resilience models, right? And then the third is the regenerative one. Okay, so again, I'm talking about Goa, right? Because Goa, generally in India, they came up with this regenerative openly. And in G20 also, we were having the Goa roadmap, right? So there's a Goa roadmap which is popular, and that has been adopted for the development of other states also. So what it says that regenerative tourism is not only going and using those resources in an efficient manner. No, it's again involving in the locations and reversing the previous situation. So now we are not, we are working on the reversing the situation that has happened. Okay, so we are going there in that area. We are involved in the activities, growing trees, involved in terms of making some eco-friendly houses, eco-friendly models. So this regenerative is something which is really gaining popularity, and we need to work more in this area. What we are doing nowadays, we are just taking the best practices. For example, what New Zealand is doing, right? So they are having a model, that the Maori tribes of New Zealand. So they were having a model where they're playing the nature, okay, and they're linked with the nature. But somewhere we need to think about it, how we can also adopt such things that we can connect it with the emotions of people, and we have to save these aspects, right? Forest, we know that whenever we are entering into the forest, somewhere we are creating a kind of, we are emitting carbon in that area, carbon dioxide, right? So somewhere it is a kind of damage only that we are doing. But we know that if we'll not allow tourism in those aspects, what will happen? Contributing in a positive manner, right? If they're guide, they're showing the species, bird species, they're showing the different animals, they're showing the different trees, and somewhere they are protecting them. So that model is really working on in the terrestrial area. And in terms of water area, I'll give you one example. In the coastal areas of Gujarat towards the Somnath, this people they did. The government came up with a mechanism that if you're catching that fish, so instead of killing, if you are giving a proof that you have cut down the net, because you need to cut down that net to release that fish, or else it's not possible to release that fish, right? So you have to cut down that fish, that net, right? And if you are making a video of that, so government is paying them the money, like which they have done, right? In terms of the losses they have made, they've got, right, and other things, they are just compensating them. So that's certain schemes that have been launched in some areas. Okay, next is the resilience model. So what is resilience, right? Adapting to the changing scenarios, right? As we are changing with the scenarios, we need to adapt accordingly. I'll give you one example. In Bolivia, right? So we were having that range, Andes ranges is there. So they were having one Chacaltaya Glacier, right? Chacaltaya Glacier. So if you read about the Chacaltaya Glacier, you'll get to know the height is around somewhere around 6,000 some meters, right? And it was once a famous, what we call it as, it was a skiing slope, right? Skiing slope, and that was a kind of a skiing resort. Skiing zones were there, and people, they were going to enjoy skiing. As of, because of this climate change, now what happened, that the snow got melted in that area. Now they don't have that skiing things. What could have been happened, right, if we have not taken some steps? Now nobody will be visiting to that area because skiing is not happening in that area. So what they did, the local administration with the NGOs and other people, they came together and they curated some trekking, some hiking, some kind of other kind of tours, so that they will be getting equal number of people in that area, and they're trying their best to reverse the conditions if possible, right? And they're reducing the harm through some strict policies, right, in terms of resorts, hotels, and other areas, right? Apart from that, they're providing benefits to communities, those who are there, so that they should not leave that area like this thing, right? And so they're coming up with an idea. So that's something which is really giving them an opportunity to sustain and to get some kind of benefits in that place, right? And maybe the Chacaltaya is surviving because of this resilient model. Okay, so the green economy and blue economy, we need to think about such models which can really enhance them, which can really save them. Okay, sorry to say again, I'm mostly focusing from the tourism point of view, right? But we have the multiple aspects, right? Renewable sources of energy. We have this thing like solar systems and all that thing, which can be adopted in different areas to reduce the carbon footprint. Okay, I wanted to give you an example here. It's a company, its name is Global Himalayan Expeditions. So even the company got appreciation from the Ministry of Tourism, Government of India. So what they did, these people, they were taking some tours to the hilly areas, okay, the tracks and all that. And during that time, they were involving the communities. So how they're involving the communities? They were just staying with the communities, right? All those trackers, they were staying with the communities during their track. and they were spending a lot of time in that area. They were carrying solar lights, solar heaters, solar tools, right, with them, and they were just installing those things on the top of those hilly zones. So hilly people, they were happy that these trackers are coming and they're bringing some green sources for us, right? They're bringing those eco-friendly sources for us. They're bringing light in our area. They're bringing solar heater for us, right? So that's what they were happy. Apart from that, trackers were happy that they're going to change the life of someone. So such kind of model, if coexist, right, they're really going to help you a lot. They're really going to change the scenarios. Okay, moving fast. Okay, fine. So next is that like land-based tourism, heritage, and forest, right? So in most of the areas, we have seen that if we have the local, like if the construction have been done with the local products. For example, black basalt rocks, okay, yellow sandstones and all. If the things have been made up of local material, they are more comfortable in that area. They're more sustainable in that aspect, and they don't have a negative impact, right? We have seen a lot of news about special school in Rajasthan, even in the desert areas, which is school actually. They don't have any fan AC. It's school, right? So such models are really Jaisalmer, Jodhpur, or in the Bikaner. Such things are coming up. Apart from that, in the hilly areas, right? So they're basically using the rocks and the locally available material to make things, right? So in that way, they're not hampering or they're not creating any loss to that particular aspects, right? Fine. Okay, so now let's link it with the tourism, the green and the other part. So we are having a dual role to play, right? One, we are working as a conservationist, right? So we are like providing them resources, money, and all that you should stay there, right, and start doing the good practices, and people will be paying for it. For example, now we've seen a shift among the mind of people. Even the airlines, those who are saying that we have the aircraft which are having less carbon emission, right? So even the tickets are costly. People are buying those tickets. Resorts and hotels, those who are coming with that we are not doing carbon emission, right? We are having that solar system and all. They are getting paid more, right? In terms of rents and in terms of per day rate and all that thing. So even that is high for them. The rates are high for the hotels or such resorts now. And slowly the shift is moving toward that. I'm not saying everybody's accepting it, but a shift is there on that area. Even the communities, for example, when we ask this thing actually to anyone, which is the cleanest village of India that we are having. So everybody says Molenong, right? So what the Molenong is doing? So they have come up with the kind of a mechanism where they all come out of their houses. They're cleaning their streets and free zone areas. So they're not allowing any polythene, any kind of plastic material in that aspect. Apart from that, they have the bamboo dustbins, right? They're generating their own power and they're selling it further, right? So these are the initiatives that they have taken. So why can't we come up with such models and we can really adopt such kind of best practices and can initiate such things in some of the other locations, right? So here, if we'll be working, we'll be getting the results, right? It's something which have proved its like importance or this thing acceptance. And if you're coming up with the same things, it will be having the positive results on the other side. Okay, I want to give you one more example on this in this sustainable tourism aspects. Like in Uttarakhand, we have a concept of ghost villages, right? So we have seen that people, they have started migrating to other areas. Now, what happened in that area? The houses are vacant, so now they're looking like the ghost houses and all. So reverse migration concept started during the time of COVID when people, they were not having such resources. So we got one idea that if we are providing resources, so people won't be moving here and there. They will be getting everything in their area. So such things or such initiatives can be taken in those places. So even some of the schemes were launched, border area development committees, area zones, right? They were having some villages. Okay, I'll give you example of one of the valley. It is known as Vyas Valley, right? And in that area, we're having some villages, Gunji, Nabi, Kutti, Napalchu, right, Darbehan. So we have some villages in that area. They're really beautiful. They're above around 15,000 feet above, right? Feet, right? Not meters. Okay, so they're at that height, and in those areas, then most of the people, they migrated towards the Darchula. That's a kind of a town that they're having, headquarter they're having. But now we've seen the people, they're going back to those places. Some schemes are there, homestay schemes have been launched. People are going, they're staying with them, they're eating their local food, they're enjoying their culture, they're seeing the races. And there was one project I was working with these people. I had a word with the sarpanchs of these villages, and they give that idea ki, what their tradition is, what are challenges they're facing, right? What are the issues they're facing, and how the life goes actually in that area. So one thing was the communication; it was not there, but now we have some schemes through PM Money and other schemes. We are able to connect to them actually. So that's one way through which we are able to connect to those people. Okay, next is I talked about the regenerative tourism, right? Which is step 8 in the sustainable tourism. Sustainable tourism is something that optimum utilization of resources by keeping the resources for the future generations, right? So we are saving them for the future generation. In regenerative, whatever we have spoiled, we are now reversing it. We are trying to get more things, removing the negative out of it and getting a more positive out of that, right? So that's how we are moving. Second, next is the India's scope in blue, the green tourism. So what we are having, right? I'll show you with this diagram. I hope this is visible to all of you. I hope I am in touch with you guys. I'm not running here and there. Okay?
Yes, yes, definitely.
Fine. Okay, now just see to it actually. So what we are having. So we have everything. We are blessed with the IHR, Indian Himalayan region. So we have a Indian Himalayan region where we are 11 states, right? And the 2 UTs are touching that particular aspect on the top, right? Apart from that, we have the deserts, right? 3 main, this thing. Even the cold and the hot deserts, both we are having, right? Run of Kutch also can be considered as one of the deserts, so that is also we are having, although it is salt from the Arabian Sea, right? On the other side, we are having the mountain ranges, right? Other mountain ranges, we are having Aravalis and other Vindhyachals and all that, right? Downwards, we are having the coastal areas, right? So, in terms of bird species, 1,200 more than that actually, different this thing, volcanoes areas, beaches, and all the potential we are having, right? So, not only the terrestrial part, even the coastal part, even the water bodies, right? I just wanted to clear one thing actually. Mostly, generally, initially we used to say blue economy means oceans, right? But I just wanted to add here that if you talk about UNEP reports or the World Bank and all that thing, they've included all the other lakes, rivers also as a blue economy parts, right? So we should not confuse in that. Ki terrestrial means only the land, this thing, even the rivers and all. No, the land part we're talking about it, atmosphere part we're talking about, water part somewhere we are taking to the blue economy, right? So mostly it has been used in different areas, right? Initially, like definitions, obviously they may confuse, but now the clarity is coming up faster because this area is having a potential, and the worldwide the countries are now taking its benefit, right? China is really doing great in that area. Like our neighbors, right, in the Mediterranean zone, whosoever is touching that area, are really getting a lot of potential. They're just exploring a lot of potential in that part. So why we should remain behind, right? So here I'm having one more thing, like generally in adventure we talk about, right? So leave this adventure part that we'll talk later. Come downwards, right? 70% of the Himalayas, 11,098 kilometers of the coastal line, right? Both hot and cold desert, ranked 10th in the total area of the forest cover, 6 in terms of number of recognized UNESCO heritage sites. Maybe it may have changed, right? So we may update it actually. So just giving a broader version that these aspects that we're having, and here we can really come up with some kind of innovativeness, right? So like Mr. Arif was saying, ki, in Delhi, like staying in one place somewhere, we are limited to our zones, and I accept it, sir. Like when we move out, we are finding out new opportunities, right? When I met the people who are into recreational activities and water sports and all that area, I found that, believe me, they are having a more sustainable source of income. They are really having a wonderful source of opportunities in terms of business, right? The people who are into the fish catching and all that area, they have another source of income in their respect, right? So it really broaden our mind actually, and luckily tourism is that area where again the passion and profession, if they get mixed, actually you are getting tremendous opportunities, right? So okay, now another part as an academician, okay, so mostly you are from academics, right? So we need to find out the research gaps, right? We have to stick out the SDGs. because somewhere the SDGs have been kept over here, right? We are talking about poverty removal, eradication, right? Hunger removal, and all those things we're talking about. So generally, we need to think from those perspectives, that where the research gaps are there, right? Where we can do research, where exactly we are lacking. If we have this much of coastal line, why we are not getting that much of profits, how we can enhance it, how we can have a kind of sustainable development, that it should not hamper our coastal zones or areas, the water bodies, backwaters basically. We have seen that again, the mangroves backwaters are very fragile in nature. I'll give you one example. See, the boats which these even the fishermen, or in some water sports people, they are using, right? If it is 10 less than 10 feet vessel, right? You know, so then I'm coming under the Ministry of have a engine, right? For example, awareness. I'll just talk about it. Two-stroke engine and a four-stroke engine. Now, what is the difference between them? Two-stroke engine is emitting a lot of oil. Actually, oil spillage is very high in that. And we cannot say ki any chances that oil won't come out. It will come out, right? And when it is a four-stroke engine, it's costly, but oil spillage is very less, right? It means that some policy may be developed, right? If we're directly banning two-stroke engine, it will directly impact these fishermen people, their livelihood and other things. But if we are coming up with a strategy that how we can adopt, how we can maintain it, definitely we'll be having a kind of a mechanism where we can help these people to adopt to the higher versions, right? And we'll be having less spoilage, right? So all the coastal areas where we are having this mechanism of recreational activity, fishing and all that thing, we'll be able to have a sustainable business, right? Where they're enjoying, they're providing opportunity to the people who are from the plain areas, hilly areas, to see the coastal areas, mangroves and all those things, right? Apart from that, they're also this thing creating any like they're not creating any damage to the coastal bodies, so that need to be taken up. Next is exploring new areas, right? Obviously we have tremendous potential in that zone. Coastal bodies, lakes, moving lakes, dams, artificial dams, right? Sorry, artificial lakes, and all those things that have been created because of those dams. So we have to work on it, right? Because there's a lot of impact is there on that area. For example, in India we have Tehri, we have the Ranji Sagar Dam in Jammu and Kashmir, right? Again, in that area. So people, they've started doing activities, right? And they're looking for the activities. If it is in controlled manner, things are fine. But if it is uncontrolled, obviously we will be having some challenges. Apart from that, what we are doing now, we are having the SOPs. We are developing the SOPs. We are developing the guidelines for those recreational activities, and we are marking the area. For example, beach visibility studies. So when we enter into the beach zone, what we do, we mark an area, right? This is the bathing zone. So we enter into the sea, right? We check out the bed, right? Whether the sandbars are there or it is plain. We are having the navigation tools. We are having the sonar and all. Through that, we check the depth and all that area. Up to what level it is safe, right? Then from that area, we see the recreational water sports launching vehicles from there where they can launch it. Okay, so that need to be taken and that to be considered. That is something which is important. Apart from that, we also have to check the carrying capacity. Again, a very important component. How many people a particular beach can carry at a particular time, that need to be taken. Apart from the forests also, right? Not only the beaches, sorry, I'm into water, so mostly I'm talking about it. Okay, the forests or the terrestrial areas also, we need to see it actually, that how many people they can carry. So based on that, a mechanism should be developed. Now we have seen that some green tax concepts have come up, that you need to book a tour, then only you'll be getting the number of people only they are getting. We have talked about ILPs, right? Inland permits. We have talked about restricted area permit, RAP, right? And so prohibited area permits and restricted in some cases PAP, right? So these things are there, but it should be formalized in such a way that everybody should get that opportunity, right? Next is creating opportunities, right? So let's find out some opportunities where people, they can work, we can also work, and it will be a win-win situation for everyone, right? Interdisciplinary frameworks are required. We need to link up different areas, right? We need to link ocean studies, we need to link the forest studies, with the tourism studies, right? We need to come up with the social theories, how to motivate people, how to make them aware, right? We need to work on the psychological theories, that how we can really come up with an idea that people, they should listen us, they should understand this thing, right? So all these things need to be bring together, then only we can think about the benefits, right? Next is linking policy, science, and practice, right? So there's a time actually when we need to really make our policy based on the best practices that are happening throughout the world, pick up those best practices, adopt them, check them, and check them scientifically. If it is having a positive impact, go with this, or else amend it properly. So it should be monitored properly. It should not be something that we have made a policy, it is implemented, compliance has to be done. No, not at all. Because the policies for the third world, right, or policies for the developed world are different, right? We cannot adopt the same policy. We have committed some mistakes earlier in terms of UNEP projects and all, right? And we've seen the results. They were not successful because we have adopted the same kind of policy. So that need to be think, and then need to be worked on that area. Okay, so in SDGs, so what generally we are having life under the water, right? Life above the water. So I'm just connecting the blue economy part with this. So like offshore renewable energies need to be developed right near the coastal area, because the wind blows very fast, right? So when the monsoon is approaching towards India, so we have rains that comes on through the sea towards our side, and winds flows like anything, right? So we have a lot of this thing. Disturbances are happening in the coastal zones. Apart from that, there's one more thing that we need to understand. And so returning monsoon is there. So no winds are coming from the other side. So the windmills and all that, they have a great opportunity. Shipbuilding and the repair yards, we need to work on that. Which material we are using, how it is safe for the oceans and the water bodies, paint that we are using. A lot of research is needed actually, right? Blue finance and investment funds, right? So how we are investing the SMEs, small medium enterprises, that need to be focused on that. Aquaculture and fisheries, right? So people those are into that business, very into this thing in that body. So how we can help them? There's something that is really growing very fast. Now everybody's talking about it. I told you about seaweed cultivation. So people now they're growing seaweed cultivation and underwater cultivation, a new concept that is coming up. So I don't know how they're going to come up, but yeah, this is something which is really good to know, that pollution-free underwater cultivation of certain crops or vegetables or fruits. I don't know how that is coming up, but again, an area where you can research and you can really come up with some kind of ideas and all. Then we have the marine tourism. So again, this is really growing very fast. I told you 1.2 trillion economy for the US, right? So they are really enjoying. They have the vessel making, equipment making, surfboard, surfing, swimming equipments, and all that. So it's really growing fast. In India, I'll just give you one example. Some days back, there was a like Ironman was there, right? In Goa, it happened. So many celebrities, even this thing, MPs were there actually, member of parliaments were there in that Ironman. So they were having 1.9 kilometers of swimming in the water, right? Then the running on the land area, 21 kilometers, cycling for 90 kilometers. And that one event attracted 1,300 participation, where every participant has given around 40,000 rupees for the registration. And many people, right, their families, foreigners, and a lot of people, they came, people from 21 countries, they came, right? And their families came and they motivated their, the participants, their family members. They stayed in Goa. They have invested in terms of, they had given a contribution in terms of economy of Goa, in terms of food, hotel, sightseeing, guide hiring, taxi hiring, right? So all that way, this is just a small example we're having. So just imagine that the potential that we're having in other aspects or in other way. So such events are there which we can think about it. So in SDG, when we say life underwater, right, obviously we need to come up with the decarbonization or the impacts. We need to study the impacts of our work that is happening above the sea and how it is impacting water under the sea or the marine life under the sea. We need to focus on that. We need to focus on this thing, the coastal part, right? How we can save these coastal beaches and area that need to be taken up, right? Again, like coastal tourism, again connecting these pictures are mine only. Downwards, we have this the sense Ironman, right? People that are coming, they're finishing the 1.9 kilometer of the swimming in the coast, and they're coming back on the this thing Miramar beach, right? On the above, this is in that it's in Onang Beach, right? So it's a cafeteria where people they're going just to see this beautiful view. On the right, this thing right hand side, this guy is doing PWC, personal watercraft or the jet ski. It's a Patong Beach, right? So again, these people are doing the different things. Jet ski owners are earning in that way. Coffee or the shop owners, they're getting paid because people are enjoying the view, sipping coffee. Here in Iron Man, a lot of people came, a lot of brands sponsored, a lot of people came for cheering up. Actually, even I woke up at around 4:30 to reach to this particular spot to see it, and it was really tough to woke up so early, right? But yeah, just saying the motivation, right? So such things are really attracting tourists, and if we are talking about the blue economy zones and even the green part, right? Somewhere such kind of things are really gaining popularity. Cruise tourism is there. That I got the name actually. That is Icon of the Sea, right? The biggest cruise ship of the in the world actually. That is Icon of the Sea. Right. So next is water-based activities, right? Adventure and all that. Blue flag certification. As of now, we have around 12 beaches in India that have the blue flag certification. So I worked on this one. This is a Kovalam blue flag beach in this thing. Tamil Nadu, right? When we are going, it's not Kovalam, Kerala, right? Don't confuse with that. It's a Kovalam blue flag beach in Tamil Nadu when we are going towards that Mamallapuram, towards Mamallapuram on that eastern coastal road, right? ECR road. When you're going on that area, they have this thing. So say they have an area of around 700 meters. So what they do, and what are the benefit of this thing now? People are getting attracted towards it when they heard about it. Okay, they have a blue flag beach. Let's go and see. And they have to maintain some standards. They have 33 criteria that need to be taken care of. Cleanliness, okay, they have washroom, changing rooms, observation room, proper this thing, sand cleaning, right? Water quality sample, they keep on checking, parking area, some kind of cafe, restaurant, right? Shower zones, everything they're having in that area. 33 criteria they need to fill up to get it actually. And the area they have covered is 700 meters. So in that way, they're doing it up, right? I think if some messages or some questions are coming, so I can't see now, right? So I'll take it up further, right? And also green tourism models. Next is this eco lodges and when we're saying actually. Okay, so the adventure hiking, I gave you example of GHC Global Himalayan GHC Global Himalayan Expeditions. Apart from that, like again these pictures I have clicked. All these pictures I have this is the area I've worked. So it's all our pictures. Again, these are all our pictures. Some of the eco sites that the people they have created in the zones, right? All local products. Yeah, some tents they have taken because if continuous rains are there, they can't handle those things. So again, a kind of a model where they have mixed up some local components and some even the modern components to get a design which can sustain for long, right? So wildlife tourism is happening in many such places, right? I've seen that elephants are very common in the Malabar region. So in that area, Wayanad and all that, they're coming up. So they have come with the AI tools. So there are AI cameras. So you're getting some early warning that elephants are coming, right? They have elephant task force there, and through that they got to know it actually where these elephants are, and they have their own mechanism to control these things, right? So in that way, wildlife tourism with a low impact, we can coexist with those animals in these areas. So here we are training the local guides, right? So these are this place is known as Mahal Dang. Mahal Dang is a district. Dang, this wildlife sanctuary we are having. In that we have this eco tourism site. Its name is Mahal. Mahal. Apart from that, we are having one more that is Padam Dongri. Well, the best part is that in this area, around 30-kilometer zone, they don't have anything related to no signal is there in that area, mobile signal. So only one tree is there. I don't know how that place is catching. So you'll find a lot of scooties and people there sitting on that tree to call someone. Yeah, but yeah, they're hideouts, hideaways. So these people, they're taking the training of they took the guide training from us, right? And they gained the profit in the first year. The first year profit was around 9,25,000 as per the DFO of that particular zone. So in that area, they have really worked on, right? So now let's come up with the one more part. Mr. Arif, please stop me, right? And wherever you need to stop me, because I'm trying my best to cover the aspects, right, to give a
Yeah,
broader.
so some of the questions are already there, but yeah, I've asked them. They can wait. We can continue
Okay,
for another 7 minutes. Then
okay,
we
okay.
can
No,
take the questions.
sure. I'll just wrap it up, right? I'll just give you an idea about it. Okay, fine. So next is the contribution of the educational institute. So what we can do, right? This thing, companies having the ESGs, right? Like in India, even in the European countries, now it's very common that they have this environmental social governance model, right? Where they have experts who will let you know the impact of a particular step that the company is taking on the environment or on the social setups in that area. So they try to come up with a balance in those zones. And we need to focus on such ESG awareness models in our country, right, or among the people. So we need to do a lot of R&D in the allied sectors. So there are a lot of allied sectors are there, right, and which we are really missing it out. So why we are talking only about the forest, right? Why we are not talking about the desert areas, plain areas? So again, they are having a potential, right? So let's focus on those parts also. Let's see that what opportunities we can find out in those areas. In water bodies also, as zones also, we have the tremendous different functioning of the water body, and different water behaves differently. Let me give you an example. Coconut water that you drink in Maharashtra is different from Goa, and is different from Andaman, is different from Lakshadweep. Lakshadweep is actually, you'll find the best taste actually, because maybe somewhere it is away from the main land, right? So there's more salt content is there in the water, and uh, parallelly the coconut is getting the sweet component. I had a coconut, and so that's my observation actually on the this thing on Netaji Subhash Chandra Island, Neil Island, right, which we used to call. So there I had this coconut, right, water. So again, the taste was amazing, right, far better than the local coconut I used to take here, right. The next is skill development. We need to focus on that developing skill, right. We need to come up with the technology. We need to come up with the communication networks, right. How we can connect them, how we can keep a vigil on them, right. Maybe AI cameras, AI-enabled information sources, AI models for those areas, right. Apart from that, this thing, let them know that how they can mark those aspects. Monitoring is something which is more important if we are having the skill related to that, right. We can monitor how things are happening and how it is changing. We need to focus on digital innovations, right. New technologies coming, and through that we are coming up with the different models to safeguard those economic zones, right. And people countries are fighting with each other on certain routes aspects, right. We know South China Sea thing, right, Indian Ocean, downwards towards the Panama canals and all that area, right. So we have to work on in a better way. Like, let's work in such a way that we can look for the positive aspects of these zones. Youth awareness and training is something which is very important. Identifying the best practices that the world is doing. We can't do all those things by ourselves and learning from our mistakes, right. It will take a lot of time, right. We have a limited life, so let's learn from their mistakes, what they have did. If they have done right, let's adopt it. There's nothing wrong in terms of adopting. We will give them the credit. Yes, this is yours, but we are taking it now and modifying it as per our needs, right. AI models, right, again something, if we are not changing ourselves to adopt AI, will be replaced by somebody else, right, maybe in the coming future. So we need to adopt it, because this is what the future is, and we need to learn it fast, and we have to adopt it in the different zones, whether it is that blue economy, green economy, terrestrial zone. I just want to give you one example. We guys make itineraries, right? Or we make itineraries of the different locations. So what we did, we have identified some of the zones, and we don't want to make it public, because maybe more people and the people who don't have this thing. Awareness about those products, they may destroy it. So what we did, we have identified those areas, we got their coordinates, right, we made their KLM files, KML files, and those KLM files are only 2 KB of size. If we are sharing with people, they can share it, put it on their Google Maps, they'll be getting the route map for that area, and they can go and do the practices. Sorry, they can enjoy that area in a sustainable manner. So that's how the role can be identified, or that's how we can make tourism smarter actually. Next is smarter entrepreneurship opportunities, right. Again, something is fine. Okay. Fine. In the field of, so I talked about the case of GHA. I'm not going back on it, right? So involvement of the coastal communities actually. So initially also we have talked about it. So how we can help, take them actually, or even the forest communities we can take them in terms of saving them, that thing. So these models we generally talked about that. I told you that what we do the risk assessment of an area, whether it is a forest, right, whether it is a coastal area, we do risk assessment that if a project is coming in that area, or how it is going to impact that particular zone, that need to be worked out. Then hazard identification, that what are the different hazards there in that particular zone, what may happen, what could the alternate ways we can have, what are the other routes that we can identify, and the compliance skills, that how it has to be modified and adopted to that area. For example, we have adopted ISO rules and regulation, but if we don't know the compliance, it will be going against. Yes, please. Shall I stop it?
Please go ahead.
Okay, fine. And so we have the site small port management skills. So one thing is a Tiaki promise. If you search up the Tiaki promise, you'll get to the Maori community of New Zealand. Okay, I'll just connect the Maori community in such a way that Haka dance, right? If you are watching this rugby matches, so you might have seen Kamati Kamati Kaira Kaira. They have that Haka dance, which is really very popular. Their MPs, they have done this Haka in the parliament, right, to protest some bills, right? So that's very popular, right, Maori tribe. So now what they did actually, they have a Tiaki promise, right, through which they're asking visitors to care for nature, right? This is something that, okay, fine, we are going to show you our country and areas, right? But you need to promise actually that you are not going, you have to take care of it, right? So they have the land and sea-based journeys, they focus on sustainability, right? And they have this thing, the third point, just see to it. Manaki Tanga, right? That is the hospitality, which they believe, right? But they start with the Tiake promise. You promise we'll give you hospitality, but you promise that you are going to save our environment, to respect our environment, right? Then cultural preservations and all. And all these, they have the coral restoration projects and all, right? That we can talk someday again. Okay, now let's come to questions. I hope I'm visible.
Yes, very much visible. So I think usually I take this opportunity of asking the very first question, but this time I'm the moderator and I'll have to wait, I know. So I'll request Ikroop, Ms. Ikroop, if you are there, you can ask your question. She had been waiting for so long.
Please, ma'am.
Hi, thanks for this opportunity. And it's double echo. Yeah, thanks, Arif. Dr. Dogra, I think you're fantastic. Your passion shines through, and your work, the pictures shows how much on ground work you've done. My question was a lot of disjointed thoughts, but so we all know about green ecotourism, village tourism, which is really peaking in. Of course, the blue tourism as well. But the concern I had, and I wanted to really know your feedback, was how do we integrate that these natural resources are truly taken care of and they don't become very prominent tourist sites with lots of chips ka packet, Parle Ji biscuit and Bisleri bottle. Don't you think by promoting, and especially the 33 points that I'm playing the devil's advocate here. There is one point that we are trying to say that, listen, we need to preserve nature, Mother Nature. We are killing it. And then if we have these 33 points mandatory to make these tourist spots happen, what it really does is that it's increasing so many avenues of human interaction and footprints. So that also means that there's going to be a place to eat and buy food. There'll be, sanitation issues because of the toilets and, for tourists to stay. And there'll be many other mandates as well. So don't you think going against the concept or the ideology of being sustainable and preserving?
Yeah. Very good point, right? So initially when we started working on it, even the same thought was there. But,
okay.
Is that audible now?
Yes.
Okay, fine. So I'll just tell about this thing, the 33 points that we're having, the 33 criteria. This is for the blue flag thing, right? Now how it works, like let's take one by one. First thing is that we are not allowing the water sports activities in that area. First criteria, that you should not allow the water sports criteria. So the biggest challenge we are now eliminating, right? What is hampering that particular zone, which is affecting in that area, we are removing that. Human interventions are coming less because these areas are having lesser human interventions in the water zones, right? Second part. Third thing is, when we're seeing the washrooms and toilets, right, in that particular zone, so they are having their own STP, which is not at all linked with the sea. So we cannot throw anything in the sea because if the water quality is going down next year, they are not going to get the blue flag. This thing renewal won't be happening. If it won't happen, what will happen later? That place have invested a lot of money, and if they're not getting it back, somewhere it will be a kind of a, maybe an insult, right? Or maybe a kind of a uh, disrespect for that particular board which is associated with it, right? So criteria have been made in such a way that somewhere they're not impacting that particular area. There's a less human intervention is there directly. Okay, for example, observation. We were having the observation post. Let's take example, if you're not having an observation post on the coastal or on the beach area, what will happen? People are going inside, they will wash away with a rip current. There's a rip current that comes. Okay, for example, I'll just give you an example. The waves that are coming. One is the rolling waves. They are very friendly. There is this dumping wave. They like coming that splash up. Right, it's risky. This third one, second one is there two waves coming parallelly. Then they're going in this way. This is known as rip is forming. And when people they're getting this thing, they're getting fixed in this particular area, they will go down, right? Even you might have seen about this guy, Beer Biceps, right? Famous influencer. So he got faced this issue in one of the beaches of Goa because he was not able. He was a good swimmer, but he was not able to come out of that rip current. Right now, what is happening? So again, the criteria is saying that identify an area where people can bathe, can do the bathing, right? Or that recreation bathing is there, but they are not supposed to take anything in that area which may spoil the water quality as well as the sand quality. Third thing is the sampling that they are taking. So 3 times in a year, that's one criteria, sampling criteria, that we have to check out this sampling. What is happening wrong in this particular aspect, right? Another criteria is accessibility for all, right? So what we're having, even a person on wheelchair may reach out to the beach part. Again, it can't be negative, right? Apart from that, next thing that they're having, parking away from the main zone, right? So if they're having parking, so some people they won't come up with their vehicle in the beach, right? Again, saving them, right? There's one more thing is there, awareness program. So at least 3 awareness, they have a grading, 1 grading, level 1 grading, level 2 grading, 3 awareness programs for the locals as well as students of that area, 4 or 5 programs. So the programs keeps on changing. So again, that is something which is contributing in a positive way. So if you read about those 33 criteria, even once earlier when I checked it, I even thought that is going to impact in a negative way, but believe me, like just go and see any of these blue flag beach. One is this Raghurajpur. Okay, now we're currently working on it. It is in Gujarat, right? Parallel to that, this thing, the 2 are there in Karnataka. Padupidri, just go to Padupidri. They're charging 30 rupees to enter into that area, but amazing, right? So nothing is happening on that side. That side, they have the backwaters there. They have the non-motorized activities. On this side, nothing is happening. They have a wheelchair which is having some flaps, right? Even they can, some waves they can handle, right? So they won't be getting thrown into the water. So these criteria, I believe, and the equipments that they're using, they're made up of material which is this thing. They're not causing any erosion or water. They're water friendly. The dustbin they are made up of the wood that is available in that area, which is water resistant. Even the post which they have created, again the bamboo and other material they have used. Changing rooms again were made up of that material. The biotoilets they have used again with the criteria of the this thing, like international bodies. They've set up some biotoilets that only we have to use, which is having their own STP, and the material is not at all going inside, right? So I believe on that basis the criteria are really going well, right? So they're not creating any problem. Maybe in that way we can have a better control on the systems, on the things. I'll give you one more example, right? Because you have touched that point. You know, India got one ranking. There was an adventure rankings that came up, right? And we got the 96th rank. 97 was Sri Lanka. We got the 96. So that was a drop of around 10 ranks. We have gone down in 2020. ATDI, Adventure Tourism Development Index, right? Came up with the ranking was done by ATA, Adventure Travel Trade Index, Adventure Travel Trade Association 1, and second is One American University. They came up with that index. So they were having around 10 different pillars on which they have scaled us. So we've seen that some of the pillars are really right, and which came number 1, Iceland. Iceland, which is having a population of 380,000 people, they got number 1, right, in 2020 ranking. Obviously, in 23, another ranking came, 24 ranking came, in which we have improved a little bit. We came at around 77, right? We improved in that area. But the pillars that they have kept, right, fulfilling those are not at all easy. So somewhere, yeah, that's how we are challenging some of the pillars. Some of the reports we are challenging. One of the report, for example, you might have heard about hunger index. Then the hunger index report came. So a lot of Indians, they came up with experts. They came up with their own versions, right? They said, you are wrong in this area. You cannot say like that. Actually, how you can say the countries where the food is not going grown actually, and how we can be behind them. So criteria we need to focus on. So being researchers, I think this is our responsibility. So I respect ma'am's question, right? Ikroop ma'am's question, that she really focused on this 33 criteria part. Yeah, obviously we need to read it, we need to check it out, and obviously if it is not suitable, anything like that, criteria that are not suitable to our environmental structures or tourism structures, we should raise questions on that. But generally, we have checked it, ma'am, thoroughly. These are good. Thank you. Thank you.
So before I hand it over to Dr. Asad for the question, I would, sir, you are the coordinator. You should be waiting for some time now. So in between, we got some questions from Dr. Mazia Khan. I think she's an expert in the field of finance, and she mentioned that around 5:39, she mentioned, are blue bonds issued in India? So some of them, maybe a group answered in process, I think, and Dr. Mohammed Jamshed came up with some of the answers, like Axis Bank gives blue loan, Pune Municipal Corporation gives municipal bond, and REC Limited gives green bond. So your thought on this, sir?
Actually, I believe that again, this thing, from the financial point of view, right? And when we are going with this blue bond and all that, again, I think we need to check out their criteria, right? So there's a lot of research need to be done, that on what basis they are giving. Generally, like, are these projects are really following those criteria, that they're really matching those scenarios? So that need to be taken up. I think that a robust system need to be made, right? We should have a common criteria system in our country, that when we're issuing such bonds, or when we're coming at such kind of facilities or financial assistance to such kind of projects, right? So it need to be taken key. Do we have a common criteria, or are we following the different criteria for the different banks? So I think in that way, it need to be focused, right? I think even I have to focus on that part more, because somewhere financial aspects, we are not we have some bodies in India, like through which we are monitoring it. But yeah, generally we don't have a common body which is doing it. So all these Axis Bank and other banks, right, they're following some criteria. Maybe they have taken it from some international bodies, right? Even I have to more focus on it, that from where they have taken it up. So good point of research, you had given it to me. I'll focus on it. I'll see that such projects which they are getting such kind of fundings, and also what criteria they're following. So good point, actually.
So we are left with another 2 minutes. Dr. Asad, please go ahead.
Thank you, Dr. Arif. And first of all, I'd like to congratulate Ravindra for a wonderful session. Actually, I had an observation yesterday night only. I was going through a post, and I just Googled it also. It was very surprising to find out that 80% of the plastic pollution is from Asia. And then unfortunately, India, Bangladesh, and Philippines are the countries actually who are polluting a lot. So this is one thing actually I would like your focus on, that how to deal it, because we are
okay, fine. Okay. True. Okay. Okay. I hope I'm audible, right, sir?
Yeah.
Okay. So obviously, like we know that from our side, right, our country contribution is on a negative side. It is literally high, right? First thing is the awareness program, right? So what are the ship sports that they're having? We have seen that slowly we are changing the scenarios. We have seen that many of our fishermen, even they were crossing the Indian territories, or they were getting caught by Sri Lankans, Bangladeshis, they were caught by Indians. So the devices were we came up with the devices through which the GPS devices were there. They were knowing their territories and all. So that was a one intervention that have came up, right? And we got into it. Second thing is like when we're into the ocean part, right, or in the water body part, we know that the ships and all, right? So something, a kind of a monitoring mechanism is there actually. Like we generally have that thought that you should not pollute, or you should not do that thing, because if something is there in water, it is really tough to get to take something out of the water, right? But just see it from a perspective that uh, like I think more than monitoring, awareness process need to be focused more, right? If people are really aware, if they'll consider creating, throwing such kind of plastic or creating such kind of nuisance may really like hamper their livelihood in future. Right. For example, I've seen a lot of campaigns that have run up in the coastal areas. People they have come up with a lot of pictures that a kind of a tortoise is there, right, and a neck got strangled in the neck, right. Some plastic again picks up in some of the body part. So such issues are there, right? So in my opinion, I think initially we need to focus on the awareness part. Obviously, strict rules compliances should be there. Actually, if we are catching out such kind of vessels with such things, that some actions need to be taken on them. Or in we have seen that in Himalayas, right? Generally, what we have seen when such things happen in Nepal. So Nepal came up with an idea that the mountaineers are going, so they're weighing their weights, bags, right? So can we come up with such mechanism on our ports from where we are launching such vessels? We should weigh them properly. That okay, how much garbage plastic material we are having, and we should come back with those materials, right? Apart from that, if it is missing, right, so there should be a penalty per kg or something like that on them. So that kind of mechanism, I believe, will be able to control such things. And even the major part is the awareness camp. Mostly that need to be focused on. Even it really hurts, right? Even in Goa, I've seen that during the time of monsoon. So monsoon, that the ocean is throwing every garbage out. So once the October month is over, you'll find that there's a lot of garbage on the beach part, which they will clear it out later, right? But yeah, it's really bad to see. But yeah, obviously, awareness as well as the penalties, right? That need to be focused. That is.
Monsoon is same everywhere, sir. As if we talk about Delhi, also the gutters throughout everything. And one more thing I'd like to add with say Krupp. She came up with very good say perspective. I personally remember Gangtok 10 years back was awesome.
Okay.
But if you talk about the current situation, Gangtok is not that good. And then this say human intervention, because the kind of say tourism just increased there. And it's not.
Sir, many trekking routes in our country, they have become the garbage dump yards, right? So they were amazing some things, but now they have gone. So somewhere we need to focus on that part also. Now the companies which are in that part, they are taking care of it. We are coming up with the green hiking concept and all those things. But I think that is also less. So this is the high time when we need to focus on that part. We have a natural beauty. We have all those things. But if we're not controlling, so we cannot take the benefit of this green economy, even the blue economy. Yeah,
I think if we can tokenize this, somehow that collection gets you points and some form of gamification and incentivizing, I think that can
we
have.
gave the example of Nepal, right? So they did it actually. We gave the example of Nepal. They did it for their Himalayas. If the trackers are going, they check their bags and all, right? You need to come back with that. Even in India, ma'am, we tried such things in the Himalayan region, in the tracking regions.
I think also I'm a trekker as well. So a lot of trekking, your trails don't have any support. For example, we had some bags available to pick up, like paper bags. So as a practice, I pick up whatever litter I find, I pick it up. But I need to carry my own bag. So that incentive, unless you're a very conscientious trekker or you feel strongly for the Aam Aadmi is lost. So just small points. Maybe some app will come here which we can gamify and tokenize and badge and leaderboards. Maybe, I don't know.
So you have found a gap, right? So in that gap, you have found a business idea. So you can work with it. That's really wonderful.
Thank you.
So it happens wherever we have a gap, we have a scope of some kind of entrepreneurship opportunity in that. So it is there.
Thank you.
So being the moderator comes with some, disadvantages. I could not ask my question, but anyways, I can definitely give you a call directly and ask the question later.
Sure.
And as we say that, and but yeah, I know many of us still have many questions with us, but maybe some other day, maybe some other time.
Definitely.
And we would like to invite you, to the campus of Jamia Ahmedabad in Delhi maybe someday you'll come here and guide us and collaborate on different platform. Now, formally, I'd like to propose a vote of thanks to you, first of all, our expert, Dr. Dogra, for taking out your time from your schedule and sharing your thoughts, your experience, your insights from all your experiences, and bringing all the important aspects. Why not from SDG 14 to one thing I liked from your presentation was your fingers were trying to tell the whole direction. अगर किसी को geography नहीं आती है तो वो आपके expressions को देख के geography सीख सकते हैं. And specifically, हम जैसों को tourism जरूर पढ़ना चाहिए. At least हमारी geography अच्छी हो जाएगी. The way you have taught us.
Thank you.
Well, and thank you for bringing all the positive energy and all the knowledge from the field of tourism, the blue economy and the green economy in collaboration. I'd like to thank the audience here for being patient and for listening to the expert here, and giving their best during the session. I'd like to thank the organizing coordinators, Dr. Asad and Dr. Mohammed Jamshed, for bringing us all together on this platform of Atal FDP. And I'd like to thank AICT Atal for such wonderful opportunities. Time and again, they come up with some solutions. And lastly, I'd like to thank our department and school at Jamia Hamdard for all the necessary approval and everything. So thank you once again, all the dear participants, faculties from all across, all the research scholars, and a special thanks to our expert for the day, for the evening. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you all of you for listening so patiently, right? I really enjoyed it. And this is an area, right, which is having a tremendous potential. So you just think about it. You'll find a lot of opportunities in this aspect, right? So happy weekend. Enjoy Saturday, Sunday, right? And keep thinking about some ideas, right? So there are a lot of ideas, zones that you're having where you can start working. And definitely you'll be getting something out of it. So we are at Goa, National Institute of Water Sports. We are in Karanjalam in Spanjan. So whenever you guys are coming to Goa, do visit our campus. You'll find something unique that this is also happening here, right? You'll find that people, they're getting trained and they're getting livelihood. So 40,000 people we have trained and they really got employment, right? There are some of them, they have gone abroad, even to Middle East countries, Saudi and other countries. So it means that there's a demand and demand is there for those people. So that's how we operate. We learn from others. And we are trying to implement something in our area. Thank you very much. Thank you, Asad sir, for giving me this opportunity to interact with all.
Thank you, Doctor. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Mr. Arif. Thank you, Mohammed sir, Jamshed sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Can I leave the platform now?
Yes, sir. Please. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Sir. Dr. Jamshed, over to you.
Dr. Asad sir, what you want to do for the test, because the participants are waiting for the test. Can we send the link to them?